keep doing it. You have to keep going. You just have to keep going. You keep going. You keep showing up. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Why the Anything. My name is Sabrina Dhaliwal. I am the founder and host of Why the Anything podcast. So welcome to episode 2. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you stay for the whole episode and continue supporting and tagging along onto this journey to see where this podcast goes. And if you are returning from episode 1, thank you so much for your support and just being here with me. It means so much to me, and I'm just really grateful. I'm really happy. So thank you. To all my friends and family, holy shit, everybody definitely showed up, showed out, and it means so much to me from the bottom of my heart. I try to be hella sly about it by posting, and I didn't try to post too much everywhere, like on my personal IG and everything, but obviously people found it, and I was shocked after. I was like, oh my God, how could they, how dare they? But obviously this fucking social media is how it works. And I'm just scared. I was just so terrified. I'm still obviously scared and working through a lot of my emotional states. Dropping the first episode was huge for me. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and the fact that I finally did it after so many years was so terrifying. My body and my mind is in active recovery, honestly. I'm still in shock that I really am doing this, and it's exciting and scary, and oh my God, I don't know, man. It's just all types of emotions. Yeah. I'm still uncomfortable, like, talking about the podcast itself. So any friends or family, if y'all, see me in person and you're trying to talk about it, I'm not ready yet. I really am not. I'm still in denial about it. I'm like, what are you talking about? What podcast? What podcast? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, if I'm acting weird or just like hella standoffish or just a deer caught in headlights, it's genuinely because I am traumatized / in denial. Give me like 10 more episodes and then we can start discussing and having some dialogue about it. Until then, I need to heal. I need to rewire my brain, and I am actively doing that. So please bear with me. Regardless, I thank you so much for everyone's support. It means the world to me. I'm excited. I'm so excited to just be embarking on this new journey, and I can't wait to see, again, what comes out of this, and for everyone to just stay along and join the ride and, give their support. Yeah, without further ado, I want to, put a little disclaimer up here. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be doing a disclaimer for every video. I do want to do it for the first couple ones, just to not showcase, but to inform everyone of what I stand for and how I want this podcast to be and the energy surrounding it. As I said in my first video, I'm not here to debate anyone. I'm not here to prove anyone right or wrong or to change anyone's minds or perspective. I'm really here to yap. I have so many thoughts and ideas and everything in my brain that's just been sitting here for so many years, and I need to release it or else I will literally go insane. So this is why we're here. I'm trying to figure out what the is wrong with me, basically, and we're all learning together. I'm literally showing you firsthand, and I'm being so vulnerable, and I'm diving in this with y'all. So yeah, I really hope the discourse and the comments, as the videos progress, I really hope the discourse remains respectful. I understand not everyone's probably going to agree with me and my ideas and my perspective, and people are not going to agree with each other in the comments, and I'm very much aware of that. But I really hope, knowing that, I really hope people can be cordial and just be as respectful as they can be. I'm not trying to bring any more negativity or weird vibes or energy into this world. We already have enough of that going on. I really am trying to educate people, and I really hope people are approaching these videos and this podcast with an open mind. That's all I truly care about. And yeah, without further ado, let's fucking get into it. This video, today's topic is going to be about control and why we as humans struggle with letting go of control in the first place. And in this video, I'm still learning. Like, I don't have all the answers. I never will have all the answers. I could be 80 years old. I'm going to be like, I don't know what the is going on still, at my grown age. So I hope everybody's aware of that. I'm still learning. I'm growing with all of you guys. As I talk about, the things I talk about in this video, it's just things that I know, from schooling and just living on a, day-to-day basis and all the interactions I have. So I don't have all the answers. So please do not look at me like as if I have all the answers. I don't want that type of energy at all. And yeah, I'm done yapping. I'm sorry. I'm like going on because I'm nervous. But control, as literally, I'm refusing to let go of control as we speak because I'm so terrified. But yeah, why we humans, why are we so scared to let go? Why do we really struggle with that? And I want to start off by first understanding how we define control. I feel like everyone has their own definition or their own way of relating to how they view control. It can be very specific examples, or it can be very broad. Either way, it's up to you, your perspective. How I view control in my personal perspective, my personal opinion, and I see control is something that's not only desirable in a want and a need, but it's something that's is psychologically and biologically wired within us. It's a necessity because, we view predictability, we equate predictability to safety. It's biologically built into us, as a way of survival. It's also neurologically instilled in us, engraved in us, because uncertainty leads, our brain, when it sees anything as a potential threat, such as uncertainty, it freaks the fuck out. It freaks the fuck out, and it's gonna make you do things that you probably don't want to do. So we aren't crazy, we're hardwired for it. But the problem is that we're using we're correlating, biological survival tactics to modern psychological emotional states. And that's a huge problem. Because everything is so quick now, and everything is very different compared to obviously way back then, hunter and gatherer times, when people were literally having to do everything in their means, to survive. And control is a great thing, everything, just like anything, it has both positive and negatives. But the problem is when we let it get to the point where it's constantly consuming us and we can't even see our way out of it, Control is great in the sense of, when our body's in a state of fight or flight or survival, say if you get in an accident and you need to get yourself out of it, your body's going to do everything in its power to take over and get yourself out of that situation, right? So in that sense, yeah, biologically it is engraved into us and it helps us in so many ways. But it also, I want to talk about is how much it negatively impacts us on the day-to-day, and it really ruins a lot of connections. It ruins the emotional empathy that we're able to have with one another, that we're supposed to have with one another. And when control goes hyperactive, that's when things get a little ugly. And the problem is that it gets hyperactive when we can't control our internal chaos. So we do everything in our power to control our external realities, right? So example of this would be weaponized expectations, pretending not to do something when you do know how to do it, but you're pretending so someone else can do it for you. If you do that, knock it off. That shit is so bad. Like, please knock it off. That is not okay. That's one of the ways, control gets really ugly. Emotional withdrawal happens. There's also manipulation, whether it be subtle or very obvious. Victimization also happens. That's a huge one. Emotional withdrawal and victimizations, I feel like were my two favorites, my go-tos. And I'm gonna sidebar real quick. I also am talking about this topic because it's very relatable to me. Like I struggle with letting go of control every single day. Like it's an ongoing battle with me. And I didn't really realize I had control issues until I got into my current relationship with my partner. I didn't realize a lot of things until I got into my relationship, because for the first time ever in my life, my body and my mind felt safe and at peace to be able to confront a lot of these emotions, and to really sit with myself to understand why it's happening and why I'm doing this in the first place. So I grew up in a very controlling environment, and a lot of victimization played a part into that as well. So I was naturally hardwired to act a certain way. And, if things weren't going my way, or if things were unsettling within me, I would act out by becoming emotionally withdrawal. I wouldn't engage, I would completely shut down, or I would completely victimize myself as if, I was the only one experiencing these things, and why me? And I can't believe this is happening to me. And oh my gosh, you get what I'm saying, just on and on. And that sucked. I was living like that for many, many, many years of my life. And I hated it. I didn't realize I was doing that until I got into my relationship. But again, control, when it's not addressed and taken care of in the way that needs to be, it can get very ugly, and it can lead you to make really shitty decisions, really awful decisions. It can lead you to ruin a lot of great relationships, whether that be romantic or friendship relationships. It can lead you to doing things that, you don't really want to do, or make you act in ways that's, really unlike yourself. And having to heal from that, and really taking that accountability to sit with yourself and be like, damn, like I f***ed up, and I was a problem in that situation. It's really hard to do, but it's not, impossible. And again, that's why I'm here to, talk about this, because I feel like a lot of people, especially within the Indian community and within Asian community overall, we don't talk about these things. So, yeah, so I'm here to talk about it. So little sidebar there. We're going to go back on track. So after, now that we talked about like how ways in which control can make us ugly and showcase a lot of ugly characteristics, I really do want to get to like the root and as to why we do that, right? And to start off, I want to ask the question of like, who's controlling who? What are you seeking to control? Why are you seeking control? Is it because your ego is uncomfortable? Most likely, I feel like that's going to be the case, right? You're doing something, or you're in a position where your body feels that it's so unsafe, that it's seeking by any means to do anything just to seek that little spike of dopamine, just to relieve those uncomfortable sensations. That's literally what's happening. It also stems from just a lack of trust within yourself. Because when you trust yourself so much, when you have literally like so much trust within the universe and within yourself, and are so sure of all your actions, you you really start to let go of control. So a lack of trust within the self is a huge reason as to why people like to control everything that they can. We control because we don't trust ourselves to survive the outcome, if things do go wrong or if they are wrong. And it's all the mind knows because it hasn't been shown anything else. So that's understandable, And in order to get to the root in the first place, we do need to ask ourselves, and we need to look within ourselves and ask ourselves why we are choosing to protect our vulnerability in such a dictator-like manner. Surrendering and letting go shouldn't be viewed as a weakness or be viewed as giving up or being passive or an excuse to give up or be passive. It's not an excuse, In order to transcend that, I feel like we have to really focus on being in the now, which is very, very difficult for a lot of people to do, understandably so, with everything that's going on and how quick we are evolving and how quick technology is evolving and how quick it is to access easy dopamine, spikes and hits. Being in the now really forces us to accept reality. And in order to accept reality, you have to respond to it effectively. It means sitting down and telling yourself, okay, if it happens, I trust myself to handle it. It's not being a coward and going back and hurting others, and hurting yourself as a means of being okay. I think it's incredibly selfish that we do that. And again, I'm not putting myself out of the picture on this. This is something that I still am navigating and am working through. But it's just really shitty that we do that how selfish that we can get just because we're just a little bit uncomfortable, It's understandable also when someone does go through very complex trauma. Very, very complex trauma. And their means of control is very, very deep and very twisted. Which again is understandable, but I do want to clarify that, your trauma, when you go through something that's very traumatic and it's not, obviously it's not your fault. It's not your fault. When you go through something traumatic and awful, but it is your responsibility to heal from that. Unfortunately, it is a very, very difficult, I feel like, conversation to have. And you have to be such in a state of awareness of and acknowledging that, yes, you went through something so devastating, but it is now your responsibility to not only heal from that, but to ensure that you don't inflict that devastation that happened to you onto others, onto your loved ones, onto your children, onto your spouse. You have to, again, rewire your way of thinking. Now I know you're asking me, well, Sabrina, how do we do that? How do we rewire the brain? How do we do that? There's many ways to do that. Definitely the way to start off is, I feel like, first is awareness. I think that's the biggest thing. First of all, is once you're aware of the things, of the fact that you are in a controlling mindset and you do have a lot of internal chaos going on, and being aware of that in the first place is such a huge step and a milestone in itself. So if you're there and if you made it there, congratulations, because I feel like literally half of individuals, and more than half of individuals nowadays, they're not able to have that sense of awareness and have that accountability of like, hey, I'm moving a little crazy, and maybe I should probably sit down and figure out why I'm moving crazy, and how I can stop myself and change my perspective. So how to rewire? A lot of it is focused on being aware and being present. A lot of it also has to do with neuroplasticity. I love neuroplasticity. Oh my God, I'm fucking geeking out right now. I have a degree. I have a master's in general psychology, and I really wish I did neuropsych instead, because the brain, what the brain can do and what we can do is so powerful, and it's so beautiful. So this is literally me just geeking out. I'm just flexing a little bit because I'm hella smart. I be knowing shit. I study. I love studying every day. I love learning new things, and neuroplasticity was definitely one of my favorite things I learned through my education, after my education as well. But neuroplasticity, first of all, what is neuroplasticity? So let's break down the words, guys. It's very important to understand the meaning behind every word. It's not, a lot of the times it's not what you think it is, which is a whole nother story and discussion for another time. But neuro comes obviously from nervous system. So the nervous system includes, the brain, spinal cord, essentially all the nerves sending signals to and from the brain. And plasticity comes from plastos, the Greek root. Plastos obviously meaning moldable. So overall, neuroplasticity essentially means moldable brain. We use neuroplasticity every single day. Obviously, we just probably don't realize it. We use it to adapt, learn, and recover. And we're always going to be using neuroplasticity till the day we're born, until the day we're not here anymore in this vessel, in this body. And the thing about neuroplasticity is that it can work with you or it can work against you. In case of control and how it goes hyperactive and can turn us into ugly beings and showcase a lot of ugly characteristics, neuroplasticity works against us. Because if in the moment you're faced with, discomfort, anxiety, and that leads to a response of control, and it leads to you acting a certain way or manipulating a certain situation, the brain's going to log that relief as a win, and over time, essentially our neural pathways are becoming stronger, and they're going to be hardwired to behave a certain way because you're rewarding that system within your brain. So if you are anxious, if you have a deadline or whatever the case is, and your ways of relieving that anxiety is procrastination or belittling others or releasing your anger or frustration on others, every time you do that, you're literally telling your body that it's safe, and you're creating that neural pathway is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's going to become more difficult to weaken that particular pathway. And the counterpart, so like not practicing adaptability and change and evolving, you're going to weaken those neural pathways. So you're causing a lot more harm to yourself in the long run. And that's what we don't want, right? We want to build new neural pathways. In order to build that new pathway, we have to expose ourselves to uncertainty. We have to expose ourselves to uncertainty. And I know that's so insane and that's so crazy, but again, awareness is the first key, right? So if you're someone who usually is bitter or acts out when you start feeling a little bit intense in here and your chest starts getting a little heavy, pausing and reflecting on your next move can help you tremendously and start to break down that toxic neural pathway that you built up, And it's really sad that we do this. it's really, really sad that we do this. Really sad that I've done this for so many years. I seek to control things in a way to make myself feel good and to make myself feel safe. And it's really unfortunate that we do this on a daily basis, and I see it happening on a daily basis every day, and it sucks that we're not able to talk about it, or people aren't able to address it in the way that should be addressed, you know? So it's just really crucial. I honestly, the takeaway from this video is like, I want people to understand how crucial it is to always be working on yourself and always finding ways to learn and to adapt and to take care of yourself. Because once you start doing that, it really reflects great positive changes, not only to other people, but just to your environment. And I believe that's another reason why, you know, we're here, and we're here to live this life. It's to help one another out, and is to help one another grow, and to be aware, and to stop being assholes. To stop being assholes. Neuroplasticity is so beautiful. I really suggest, if you're not familiar with it, I really suggest, if you are trying to knock off a bad habit, or if you're trying to become a different person, or strengthen, you know, parts of yourself, I would really suggest looking into neuroplasticity and how it can benefit and derail us as a society, as humans, and how it's evolved over time. It's really beautiful. This video was really, really hard for me to do. I can feel myself losing a little bit momentum. So again, I hope you bear with me, and I truly am sorry if this video probably wasn't what you expected. I don't want to go out with that type of energy, though. I'm being hard on myself. Literally right now, I'm trying to take control over something in a really, but I'm doing it in a manner that's not beneficial to me. So I'm not going to end it this way. I'm not going to be all womp womp about this shit. No. Let control go, and go live your fucking life. Don't let that shit take over your life. Do not let that shit take over your life. Again, as these videos go on, I'm hoping to improve, and I'm excited to constantly evolve and to improve. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2, and thank you so much for showing support. And if you want to continue showing any type of support, go ahead and head to novademeridian.com. Over there, you'll be able to find merch and also music from my partner DW. He actually has a song that should be released now, a new single that is absolutely f***ing amazing. So please go show support his artist name. His name is DW. He goes by DW. And yeah, my name is Sabrina Dollywall. Thank you so much for tuning in to Why the F*** Anything, and I will see you next week for episode 3.